Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is Boyd, guided by the word. Uh, I noticed a rise in my views on my video from last year about the little buddy heater. So what I thought I'd do today is just kind of run through my startup. I just pulled it out of storage. I've had it put away the whole time. I had it hooked up to my heater, to my gas, but I had it off. So last year when I shut it down, if you remember for the other video, I allowed all the propane to burn out before I shut anything down. And then I just shut everything off, turned it off here, sat it away out of the barn, and covered it up, and it's been there ever since. So this is my startup for this year. The first thing I've done so far is to tip my heater to see if there was any oil in the system. When I tipped it, I didn't get any oil. And so I tipped it back upright, let it stand a little while in case there's a valley somewhere in the system. Then I turned it back up, and it's been up in this position now for 15, 20 minutes, I guess, or longer. And I can see the orifice. See if you can get in here and see this orifice, Denise. Well, you probably can't, but I can see the orifice up in here, and I don't see any oil whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is turn this back this way. And I'll put this back on later. I don't need it right now. So my heater, I think, is good to go. I've cleaned it. I took a Q-tip. I got down in here where the pilot light is, and I just cleaned all the dust and whatever out of there. Cleaned it up real good. And so now what I want to do now is I've had my hose hanging down ever since I unhooked it this morning when I put it on the table. It's been like this for probably 30 minutes. That was just in case I had any oil trapped in the line to let it drain down to the end. So now what I'm going to do is depress the little pin in here, like I told y'all last year. And let me make sure I've got my gas on. All right, so it's on. That'll give me pressure to blow anything out. Just give it a couple seconds. Depress it again. Okay. Now let's lay this up here and see if there's any oil. And as you can tell, there's no oil here, none on my hand. So we did a good job last year for the video of shutting it down. If that's the procedure you followed, you should be good this year when you start your heater up. So what I'll do now is hook it to my little buddy heater. Remember to be sure and not get these things cross-threaded. This is a cast type of a metal. When you screw this thing in, if you get it cross-threaded, it may really mess it up. You may have to get a new one. It can be kind of tricky. Well, as I said, it can be kind of tricky. Okay, let's turn this off. Turn the propane off, take the pressure off the system. Finally, that was sort of aggravating. That's the reason I tell you to be careful. You can cross thread that thing real easy. Just give that a good snug tight with your thumb and forefinger. Okay, now we're going to prepare to light it. Let's turn this light off. I think I'm done with it for now. Got my fuel back on nice and easy. Gonna depress. Got to depress these knobs to turn them. Hold it down for the pilot. May have to let it sit for a second to let the fuel run through. Just hold it down, let the fuel purge the system. I'm just going to hold it down. Pilot light is lit. We'll watch it for a second. Then we'll push it down, turn it to low. Nice blue flame, what you want. Let it run on low for a second. First time I've lit this thing up since last year when I did the video. Now, I will depress a little bit, turn it on high. And there we go. So the heater lit right up the first time. After I shut it down the way I instructed y'all last year to let the fuel burn out of the line, then turn it off here. I checked it this morning to make sure there's no oil in the system. Everything lit right up. So I noticed that I've had some people talk about putting a filter on over here. That's probably fine. I'm sure I know they make filters for them. I don't have one. I've never used one. They're mainly, I think, for particulate matter. However, they will trap oil as well if you have some in the low areas blowing through the heater. But that's eventually just going to oil foul your filter. So I think if you just do this procedure of shutting it down, when I get ready to shut this down, I'll show you what I do. And just when you crank it back up at the end of the season, do like I did, let it drain. I cleaned everything up and didn't have any problems, any issues whatsoever. Another thing I'd like to mention is I've Googled since last year, and I'm finding that a lot of people say, well, the pressure and the temperature doesn't cause the oil to separate in the line. I'm just going to say I'm a construction worker, and I know, and you guys know also, especially if you've ever had a chemistry class or any kind of knowledge about chemistry or heat, that temperature and pressures affect everything. If you stop and think about it, nothing, even the weather, has to do with pressures and temperatures. So pressures and temperatures affects everything. But that's beside the point. The main thing is, if you have oil in your line, I've shown you how to get the oil out. I've shown you how to get the oil out of your little heater. And I'm not having any issues whatsoever. What made me start investigating and do the original video was I was having all kind of problems. I had oil in my line, oil in my heater, and I addressed all that in my last video. So that's where we're at. What's today's date? 11/28, day after Thanksgiving, 25. So here we go. I'm going to show you one more time when I get ready to shut it down. This is what you want to do. Everything's running great. Turn this off. Let the propane burn out of the line, out of the system, out of the heater. Everything's off. Turn your heater off. And that's it. I hope that's helpful. God bless you. Jesus Christ is Lord. Like and share, subscribe. Any comments you have, put them down in the comment section. We can talk about it. Thank you very much. Have a blessed day.